before he buries them. There are many cases of people who have died, and while preparing for funerals for the burial of bodies, something that may be illogical happens. In one story that happened in Syria, a young man suffering from diabetes died. His family grieved and his relatives, friends and neighbors gathered at home to mourn the family of the deceased. Only a little time passed, and while he was starting to wash it, his spirit returned to the young man, and he woke up. The laundry came out quickly screaming and came back to life. None of those present could believe it. His mother laughed with tears on her face. His brothers were shocked, not believing what had happened. Indeed, he returned to life, and the condolences turned to congratulate. And it did not take long for people to return to their homes. But the surprise was that it was about 10 days, and then the young man died again. But this time he did not return to life. The imaginary nanny. One of the women tells her story, saying that one day she noticed a noticeable change in the behavior of her daughter, who was only 6 months old. And this change began after they moved together to a new house, where the daughter was laughing and having fun alone and following with her eyes things that do not exist, moving sweet, and crying suddenly for no reason. And the lady initially imagined that the angels manipulate the child, and this is very normal among children. But one night she heard the sound of her infant daughter screaming, and she went to me immediately to her room, which is at the door of the room, heard the voice of a woman singing a lullaby to her child. The woman was deterred by fear, so she approached the door very carefully and saw the spectrum of a woman sitting near her daughter's bed. And she was a tall woman with long black hair and wearing an old-style dress. And as soon as the lady entered the room, she disappeared immediately. The chair. When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favorite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother, because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of our nightstands, we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the home's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair which we kept against the back wall of the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied, watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch that chair forward, across the room, toward us. Sometimes she'd manage to move it all the way to the center of the room. We always felt sad putting it back against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we'd moved out, I found an old newspaper article about the farmhouse's original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving them each a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hung herself. The article included a photo of the farmhouse's living room, with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked over, was that old wooden chair, placed exactly in the center of the room. Did it get colder in here? Or is it just me?